This is not a fun video to make, but let's talk. Let's just have an open discussion.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay, down the left field line. That ball is gone.
So this season has just been all over the place. And while having a guy like that, we're still on the edge of a wild card place in the Eastern Conference. And if I'm being honest, there's only a couple guys on this team where I can say, you're doing everything you can. I cannot expect any more out of you. And that is Nikita Kucherov. I'll throw Brennan Hagel in there. And I'm talking about solidified guys on the team, not even like fourth liners or guys that are going up and down. I'm talking about solidified guys that have really made an impact on this team. Really, all I can say 100% is Kucherov and Hagel. Point, you'd like to see a little bit more consistent scoring. Stamkos, he's had a few droughts this year. Hedman, he's bumped up his numbers on the offensive end, but it's definitely not all on him. But the defensive effort as a whole has been one of the worst I've seen on the Lightning in a pretty long time. And then Andrei Vasilevsky, you can't put all the blame on him when it comes to however many goals we give up, because like I said, the defensive just execution is not there this season. So that combined with Vasi not playing up to Vasi standards, whether it be the injury and they're just not saying anything, or how would I know? Goalies and things like that, it's really hard to give an answer or a real logical reason, because a lot of time it's mental or it's injury. But on a positive note, the last game we all watched was a 7-0 beatdown against a team that is in the same region as us, kind of fighting for either a third spot in their division or a wild card spot. And these two signings might really make a big deal to this team, Anthony Duclair and Matt Dumba. They could really, really make a big difference to this team, because the depth is just not there on this team when it comes to offense and defense. So adding a guy like Duclair, who put up 17 goals on a garbage team, the San Jose Sharks, bring him in. Obviously, yes, he scored a goal in his first game with the team, and we've seen firsthand what he can do, especially come playoff time with the Florida Panthers. Matt Dumba brings that physicality, that leadership, that experience to the back end, where you can send down a guy like Lilleberg, who is young and probably should not be playing on the NHL level just yet. But this is all due to the cap, obviously. That's kind of how things go. You got to pay your depth players or let them walk. If you don't have the money to pay them, the Blake Colemans are going to leave, the Yanni Gourds are going to leave, the Alex Killorns are going to leave, the Barclay Goodrows are going to leave. You just can't keep a team together like that in today's game. And the Lightning are working with the situation that they have. And I really do think these pickups are going to help this team. So let's take a deep dive into the standings, because it is very, very close right now. So obviously you can see we are in that number one wild card spot. 65 games played, 74 points. Now let's look at the teams behind us. The New York Islanders, who were just on a 6-game win streak. They lost last night or 2 nights ago, I'm not sure. But they're hot. Patrick Waugh has been playing really well, and they might end up jumping Philadelphia for that third spot in the Metro before doing anything wildcard wise. So in my opinion, I actually think that will happen. They will jump the Flyers and will really be in a race with the Flyers and not the Islanders. Obviously, that's just a prediction with how well the Islanders have been playing recently, but next up is the Detroit Red Wings, who are on literally just the opposite of what I said about the Islanders in the 6-game win streak. Flip that. 6-game losing streak. They have been awful, and I mean awful, these last couple weeks. I think they're getting outscored something like 33-11 or something like that on this losing streak. It has been terrible for them. And you look at the Red Wings, they have good players, they have pretty solid depth. They don't have a good goalie. They got some good young pieces. Obviously, the Yeiser plan is in the works for them. I really can't put a finger on it because you see them play at certain points and you're like, wow, that's a playoff team. And then you see something like this where it's almost like the effort just isn't even there. They go to Buffalo and just get worked. They go to Arizona and just get worked. If you would have asked me a month ago, I would have said, yeah, the Red Wings are making the playoffs. They'll get one of those 2 wild card spots. Next up is the Washington Capitals. They are more of an aging team. Obviously, Ovechkin is up there in age, and maybe they're trying to make one last run at it. I don't have a lot of faith in the Capitals really making the jump into that wild card first or second spot, but they are a team that's behind us. They have beaten us this year, so you can't count them out of it. But you look, minus 27 goal differential is very bad. And you look at who's around them. The Islanders have minus 12. You got to remember they had a coach and fired him. Now they got Patrick Waugh, so they're kind of making up for that goal differential. But we're positive. The Red Wings are positive. The Sabres are minus 2. The Devils are minus 15. The Penguins are minus 5. Minus 27? I'm not a believer in the Capitals. So looking at the Atlantic Division, Panthers, Bruins, Maple Leafs, I mean, the division is just, those are all wagons. Those are all great teams that, I mean, star power all over the place. And depth to go along with it, because I know someone's saying, well, Lightning have stars too. Yes, I know we have stars. We have plenty of stars. But we don't have the depth that they have. So, and speaking on the goal differential, the numbers back that up. 17 games left in the season. Let's look at how the slate is looking, maybe some homestands, some road trips, how it's matching up, and let's see where we think we'll end up. So obviously tomorrow we play the Rangers. Great team. Saturday we play Florida, at Florida. Great team. And then after that we start a Western Conference road trip. Start off with Vegas. Good team. And then 2 of the next 3, you have to win. You have to beat the Sharks. You have to beat the Ducks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You can't let those slip up. In a race like this, where everything is just by 1 or 2 points, you cannot slip up against teams like that. Continuing, Boston at home. They're a wagon, but we've beaten them at home this year. And then this is a giant game on a Saturday night. I might try and make it out to that one because that is a monster game against the Islanders on a Saturday at 7. And then it stays that way. It's not a Saturday night, but a Monday night game just as big against the Detroit Red Wings. So, my goodness. We have a Western Conference road trip, and then we come home and we have Bruins, which are a good team, and then 2 giant games on a Saturday and a Monday against 2 teams that we are right there locked in with. So then we go to Toronto. I could see us losing that game. It is what it is. They're a really good team. First part of a back-to-back. I'll be interested to see which one they play Vasi in. That's tough. Because on one side, you want to play him against the better team, but on the other side, you want to play him against the team that you really should beat. So that one's iffy, but mark this date, guys. April 4th. That's when the run starts. That is when we begin to separate ourselves from the rest of the wildcard teams. We just have to. Look at the slate. The Canadiens on the road. The Penguins on the road. Blue Jackets at home. Senators at home. The Capitals on the road. And then the Sabres at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-playoff teams in a row. 3 of them on the road. 3 of them at home. That stretch right there, that has to make us comfortable. that has to be the spot where we, like I said, can separate ourselves from the rest of these wildcard teams and just know that we're going to make the playoffs, okay? Finish out the season at home against Toronto. Cool. But like I said, April 4th, mark your calendars. I would love for the run to start before that. But even if the Duclair and Dumba trade just works wonders for the Lightning and they start winning on a more consistent basis and things begin to take a turn for the good, still, that stretch of games right there really solidifies the season and can put us locked in for sure in that wildcard spot. So, like I said, guys, it's really tough right now. The Islanders have a game in hand on us. It's going to be 2 point, 1 point, 2 points, 1 point. The difference between teams I'm talking about for a little bit here. I mean, if we can sneak out games against like the Rangers and the Panthers and the Bruins or whatever, that'll be amazing and really help our cause if we beat the teams that we should beat. So, like I said, I think we do end up solidifying ourselves, making ourselves comfortable in that one spot, and that's where we're going to end up. And we'll see what goes on above us, and that'll tell us who we get in the first round of the NHL playoffs. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below your thoughts. Where do you think we end up? See if you guys have some positive vibes going or if you're feeling pretty shaky about this year. So once again, appreciate all the support. Please like, subscribe, and go Bolts.